The Ohio State Buckeyes are entering the 2026 college football season with enormous expectations, and the pressure is squarely on head coach Ryan Day and new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. After winning the national championship in 2024 and following that up with an undefeated regular season the next year, Ohio State fans expect nothing less than another run at the top. But things didn't end the way Buckeye supporters hoped last season, and now a lot of eyes are on this new coaching partnership. Day made a bold move bringing in Smith, a coach known for his NFL background and his success developing running games. However, Ohio State's offense is loaded with explosive receivers and playmakers, meaning the balance between a strong ground attack and an aggressive passing game will be critical. With quarterback Julian Sayin expected to lead the offense, the Buckeyes have the talent to dominate again. Still, the schedule is extremely challenging, and while Ohio State might survive a loss or two and still compete for a playoff spot, there are certain games they simply cannot afford to lose if they want to stay in the championship conversation. The first matchup that absolutely cannot go wrong for Ohio State is against the Ball State Cardinals. On paper, this game should be a comfortable win for the Buckeyes, but it comes with the classic, trap game, label because it happens just before a huge showdown with the Texas Longhorns. In college football, strange things can happen when teams overlook an opponent while focusing on a bigger game ahead. That said, if Ohio State somehow lost to Ball State, it would instantly become one of the most shocking moments in the history of the program. The Buckeyes simply have too much talent and depth for that to realistically happen, but the game still has to be played, and the coaching staff must make sure the team stays focused. Another game Ohio State absolutely cannot lose is against the Kent State Golden Flashes. This matchup would be especially embarrassing because Kent State has struggled mightily in recent seasons, winning only a handful of games over the past few years. For Ohio State, which prides itself on being one of the most dominant programs in college football, losing to an in-state opponent like Kent State would be a nightmare scenario. If anything, this game could turn into one of the biggest blowouts of the Buckeyes season, especially if they are looking to bounce back from a tough result the week before. Playing at the famous Ohio Stadium, often called the Shoe, should give Ohio State an even bigger advantage. The next team on the list is the Maryland Terrapins. Unlike the previous two matchups, this game is at least somewhat competitive on paper. Maryland has had moments where it looks like a dangerous team in the Big Ten, but consistency has been a major issue. Head coach Mike Locksley continues to lead the program, yet many analysts question whether the Terrapins have made enough improvements to truly challenge a powerhouse like Ohio State. Since this matchup is scheduled to take place in Columbus, a loss would shock fans and analysts alike. Dropping a home game against a middle-tier conference opponent would immediately raise concerns about the Buckeyes' championship hopes. Finally, there's the matchup against the Northwestern Wildcats, and this one carries an interesting storyline. Northwestern's offense could feature play calling from former Ohio State assistant Chip Kelly, which would add another layer of drama to the game. If Northwestern somehow pulled off the upset, it would create major questions about Arthur Smith's first season running the Buckeyes offense. This game could also come after a physically demanding stretch of the schedule that includes matchups with the Indiana Hoosiers, USC Trojans, and Oregon Ducks. If Ohio State is worn down from that brutal run of games, Northwestern could try to take advantage. Still, if the Buckeyes truly want to compete for another national title, this is a game they must handle without letting it slip away. At the end of the day, the 2026 season will be a defining moment for Ryan Day and Arthur Smith. With huge expectations, elite talent, and one of the toughest schedules in the country, every game will matter. Losing to top-ranked opponents is one thing, but dropping games to teams they are clearly better than would be unacceptable for a program with Ohio State standards. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Ohio State's must-win games for the 2026 season, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest college football news, analysis, and predictions. We cover everything from the Buckeyes and the Big Ten to the biggest stories across the entire college football world. Let me know in the comments which game you think will be the toughest challenge for Ohio State this season and whether Ryan Day and Arthur Smith can lead the Buckeyes back to the national championship.